Hey, hello everyone. Jose J. Garcia with Mo Home University here. My guest for today is a entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, best-selling author, and full of positive energy. Fong Chua, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for having me, Jose.
Absolutely. So before we get started, I have to ask because every time I see you, you're full of energy. Where does this energy come from?
Yeah, there's a switch right behind the back of my head. So right before I click on Zoom, I go click and okay, let's go.
There you go. You got it. Okay. I was hoping to, coffee, I drink plenty. So, but yeah, good to see the positive energy. Absolutely. So
So
for those,
coffee works too, but it's one of those things where I have that mindset of when I'm meeting new people or I'm on a show, you just have to turn on that energy, turn on that excitement, and then
uh,
when it's done, you can turn it back down if you want to. But it's usually that enjoyment. I love doing this, and the energy is easy to find when you're enjoying what you're doing.
yeah, no, watching you, listening to you talk, I mean, you can't help but to just get motivated, get dressed. So, thank you for that. And we know somebody else close to you, Paulie, which a lot of people may not know, but it's just like, oh, you just have to spike up. But for those who do not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as Jose did mention, I'm a business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and a best-selling author. I help people unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. I love helping them find out what they can do to either increase their credibility, increase their exposure, or even create more multiple streams of income for them. Lots of people have that mindset of an employee mindset that they go, okay, we have to do this, and that's all we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. And they kind of have this narrow mindset of, well, that's the only way you can do it. However, once you start looking outside, once you start talking to more people, you realize, hey, you could do this type of investment. You could do real estate. You could do business. You could do book writing, coaching, consulting, speaking. It opens up a whole new world. And lots of people don't realize that. And hence why I like saying unlocking your potential, because your potential is locked in and you don't know what you can actually do until somebody shows you or kind of gives you that little kick and go, hey, you can do this and you can do a whole lot more than you actually thought of. So that's what I love doing.
Absolutely. Well said. Yes, sir. So we met through our networking. Let's go ahead and jump right into this here. So networking is huge to me, but how important is business relationship and networking for growth?
I think it's important for everything, whether it's your business growth, your personal growth, even like whatever relationships you want to do, whatever you want to learn. Networking is absolutely important because we all start off in this one circle, and that's our family, close family and friends, and that's all we really know. So, from my personal experience, I grew up in a family who had zero business acumen, who had no real estate background,
I can
who did
relate.
not go out there and speak to anybody. So it's really all my sphere of influence is only my parents and maybe my cousins. I didn't have much friends. I didn't go to birthday parties and all that kind of stuff. Hence, everything I know, everything I grew up with, everything with regards to my mindset is focused the same way as everybody else I'm surrounding with. It wasn't until you start talking to people, it's like, wow, there's a whole new world out there. Then you start expanding your mindset. Then you start going, okay, well, if this person could do it, let's hear what this person does, or let's hear what this person does. And you start growing that. And then you start learning a lot more. You start implementing different podcasts, different documentaries, different books. So no longer am I just reading comic books. I'm now reading business books. So that opens up a whole new thing. So, and that all comes from relationships, right? The more relationships you build, the more connections you have, the more opportunities you have. And those opportunities gives you options. If you don't have the mindset to do that, then you're not going to be able to acknowledge or recognize all the opportunities that's out there all the time.
Mhm.
We need to flip that switch to go, oh, look, there's an opportunity. Oh, look, there's an option. And then once you are able to connect with people, then you can ask people about, hey, what do you think about that? What do you do when it comes to this situation? So relationships are key to everything. It also allows you to grow and learn a lot more. So I think with regards to anything that you do, whether you want to learn business, whether you want to learn how to play a piano, whether you want to learn how to play football, you need to build certain types of
Sure.
relationships, whether it's your teacher, your coach, your friend, a partner, whatever it is. You need to build.
No, that is to be expected. The great advice from you. when I first started, that's one thing that I noticed very quickly is the more I got in there, the more I realized, wow, I felt like almost I've been missing out on this whole time. Dan Locke says you don't know what you don't know, and until you get out there, you have to break away from your family, your friends. It's the same thing you already know. That's not getting you anywhere. So, and you mentioned coach, but since you started, how many coaching mentors would you say you've had?
Over the years, I've probably worked with a handful, like five to seven different ones, all in different experiences, all in different skill sets, and that's what we kind of need to do. Like for instance, if you're working with a great example is a track star. I've talked to Bruno Surian before, and he said, yeah, he had 9 coaches. He had a nutrition coach, he had an accelerator coach, he had a running coach, he had like all these people, right? So because each one has their own specialty. So for myself, like I had a speaking coach once, I had a business coach, I had a real estate coach, and all those people come in and actually give me the guidelines and also the pathway as to what I need to do, what to expect, and what I could actually challenge myself to succeed more.
Yeah, you can't succeed without coaches. Yeah, for a while I neglected that. I thought do it all on your own, save you money. You're costing you money.
Yeah.
If I had to start over again, I would get a coach from day one and get there quicker, sooner, faster. Obviously, uh, how do you find best to time manage? That's one thing I actually struggle with quite a bit. Even though I do, one of our mentors, JT, he breaks it down increments, etc. There's still not enough time in a day, ever.
Well, for myself, I haven't got to the point where I'm scheduling everything. However, I do write out all the stuff that I would like to finish, and then also all the stuff I would like to do within that day. And it feels good to wipe it off my list every time I finish something. And it's just one of those things where you maximize your time, right? I talked to you about increasing your ability to absorb information by listening to podcasts faster, by listening to YouTube stuff
I
faster,
asked about that. Yeah.
faster, right? So that's one thing I do, combining things together. So every day I wake up at 5, I go for a run. So not only am I waking up early to maximize more time to work on stuff, but I'm also feeding my body so that I'm more active for more energy as I'm working out. But at the same time, I'm listening to business stuff. I'm listening to mind feeding and all that kind of stuff, right? So you want to take the time that you have and say, okay, what can I do to maximize this time to get the most out of it? I've shared this to a lot of clients of mine where I said, if you want to finish to produce a podcast, to produce a YouTube channel and content for that, a blog, a free giveaway, a book, well, you could do all 5, 6 things all at once if you wanted to, right? On an average of 1 hour a day or 7 hours a week, in 2 months, you can have all that stuff.
Sure.
And that's really just repurposing your information, reusing your content, so you're not creating new things all the time.
Correct. Very good. Yeah. One of the things you coach about and you got me into doing, which is great, is speed reading and speed listening to podcasts, which
Yeah.
now I do. But it's also picked up my speaking. I've been told now you speak a little fast, which I love it. It just gets to the point quicker. Tell us about some of this fast learning.
I find that as you were mentioning before, we don't have enough time in the day.
Yeah.
And we want to absorb as much information as we can. So let's say if your priorities is to learn more about business, then you focus all your time listening to business talk, and reading business stuff. But then you're avoiding all the other stuff. You're avoiding the entertainment stuff. And sometimes what I find is when I'm networking, and I'm going to tie this back to networking relationships, how do you build relationships? By talking about other stuff and finding rapport. So if somebody I know is a big fan of The Mandalorian, I would like to be able to kind of tie that together and then talk about maybe have a segue from that. You know what is amazing about this Mandalorian show is how they filmed it because they were creative in this. Well, that conversation can then lead to a business kind of conversation because creativity feeds into businesses too, right? So how do I get more of this information of different industries and different genres? Well, by speed reading or by speed listening to stuff. So when it comes to YouTube and podcasts, like Joe Rogan speaks on his podcast for a good 3 hours. Well, I could reduce that time to an hour and a half, 2 hours by just simply increasing the playback speed to 2 times the speed. And after a while, you realize it's set automatically on your YouTube channel or on your Spotify, and you go, this seems a little slow, and you go and adjust it. It's like, oh, it's already at 2 times the speed. So then you can bump it up again, right? And then as you do that, I can now listen to an audiobook as I'm going through the text and reducing that time, which would probably take me about 20 hours to do, to read it on my own, down to maybe 3 to 4 hours, right? I could retain more because now I'm feeding my eyes and my ears at the same time. And if I really needed to, I could go back and re-listen to the whole thing, and that would only take me another 4 hours, which is still faster than 20 hours that I've used.
Right.
So then by doing that, now you have more information, and you find that your brain will start to access all that information faster. So now if I do go networking and I do go meet people, which I have more time now, I can go, oh, I picked this up from this podcast. I picked this up from this documentary. I picked this up from this audiobook, and I could talk about all this stuff, which allows me to actually connect with different people, right? I could talk about comic books. I could talk about Formula One racing because there was a great documentary on that. And I could talk about like bees because somebody on Joe Rogan's podcast talked about bees. So it's kind of interesting the way things work and how you can absorb information. And as you know, I speak a lot faster too.
And I love it. But you do have to find a balance in there somewhere. And let me toss this in there because, when I'm coaching now students or trying to negotiate a deal and I'm standing in front of somebody, I'm thinking, how can I speed them up? They're talking too slow.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you pause for a moment? I need to shut down alarm.
Yes, go ahead.
I saw you were recording, so we could cut that out, but my alarm just went off, like my house alarm. So.
Okay, well, we are back. Yes, sir. So what is the one reason that people reach out to you for your coaching?
Mainly because they are sick and tired of what they're doing. They're finding that they're at a plateau, and they're trying to find out what can we do to increase that, right? So what can we do to go to the next level? And when I finish talking to them, I give them options. I give them kind of scenarios as to what they can do. And that's why most people would come in and work with me.
They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. How do you describe success?
Pardon?
How do you describe success?
I would say it's one of those things where it's always progressing. It's one thing after another. It's one stepping stone that you go, oh, I achieved this. I feel good. Okay, on to the next one. How can I do this better? How do I do something else that's a lot more fun and a lot more fulfilling than the last thing I've done? So for me, success is internal, making myself feel good, making myself being able to do more, and also being able to impact more people.
But never settled. That's
right.
Good. Yes, sir. Do you believe some people are natural entrepreneurs?
I don't think so. I think it's something that you can be, it's forced. And, oh, sorry, your question was, do I think people are natural?
Yeah, do you think some people are just natural entrepreneurs?
Actually, I'll stick with how I answered it before. I don't think everybody's born naturally as an entrepreneur. It has to do with the people that surround themselves with, right? Because you can have somebody born in a certain situation, put them in an entrepreneurial environment, and then they'll grow up to be entrepreneurial mindset. But if you take that same person, same child, and put them in another environment who is all athletes, and they'll probably have an athlete mindset. So we weren't born specifically for something, but we are able to grow into whatever it is that we want to be, as long as we surround ourselves with those people.
I agree. Nobody's born a certain way. We're all made to be something. So how do you take somebody who's uncoachable and turn them into coachable, or is that possible?
I think eventually it's possible, depending on the type of coach you are and depending on what triggers their pain point, right? I think everybody is coachable at some standpoint, right? It's just how desperate are they, how motivated are they, and how much they really want to change. For instance, I have this one contact who always told me there's no way they can quit smoking. There's no way they can stop it because don't talk to me, I can't quit. Right? I'm like, okay, then I don't talk. However, until something happened, then a quick 360. this person had to stop because of health issues, and they stopped, right? So it all comes down to something that triggers your mind that go, you know what, I'd rather do this than to keep this. As much as I love this, as much as I'm stubborn, as much as my ego is high, eventually something or somebody is either better or
Or why
more
change?
influential and causes that why for you to actually make that change. Whether that person is me, I don't know, but that's what the conversations are for. And also whether, like, the thing is, not all clients are for you, right? Sometimes you have to go, well, yeah, you're not a good fit for the type of coaching I provide. I would recommend you talk to this person. Maybe this person has a better style for you. So everybody is more susceptible for different styles and are more engaged with different styles and more effective with different styles, right? I'm sure that when you were in school, there's one teacher that you learn a lot more from, which is a different teacher than somebody else that says, no, that teacher's a lot better. Well, it's just a different style, right?
Great answer. Yeah, so you can be coachable. I guess you have to have enough pain and strong enough why to be able to change that. Okay. So
Yeah.
Fong, I invest in real estate, mobile homes, and I know you invest in real estate. What is a traditional real estate you invest in?
I do buy, fix, and holds usually. So all mine are usually single family homes, fourplexes and whatnot, and I buy them, rent them out. I like the passive income, the cash flow that comes in every month. I'm very hands off when it comes to dealing with tenants. So it's pretty much set it and forget it as much as I can, but also trying to build that relationship with all my tenants as well as I can, so that they can kind of self manage
Sure.
and not involve me as much as possible.
How long you been investing in real estate?
I've been doing real estate for about 10 years now.
10 years. You ever
Yep.
thought about mobile homes?
I've looked at a few. Haven't put that much effort into looking into it, but I know who to talk to when I do.
We're going to bring you over. Yes, absolutely. So, do you see a correction? Do you in the near future? Do you see real estate taking a change?
I would say there's going to be a lot more inventory in the next little while here, just because I think lots of investors would be suffering in a way where I'm not sure what happened in your area, but we were told that, yeah, you can't evict anybody
Yes.
because of COVID. Well, if that's the case, it's not. Do we not need to pay the mortgage, right? Kind of thing. So if you do, then who are you actually helping here? You're helping the tenants, but you're not helping the landlords, right? So I think during that period of time, a lot of landlords would be kind of pulling whatever they have out of their own pockets to sustain that period of time. And then now is the time where they go, you know what, we need to rethink this. They're going to probably think about selling. They're a little bit more motivated, and there's going to be a lot of competition out there to actually sell your properties. So I think that's in the short term. That's going to happen very soon. And then when it comes to looking at real estate, I think the single family homes would be pretty good, and the mobile homes, because they're one unit. Whereas the bigger stuff, now you have to think about, okay, how do I guard against against COVID and what do you call it, social distancing and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more rules that's going to come in when it comes to the condos, comes into the what do you call it, the multifamily stuff. So it's going to get a little bit more complicated. Not saying it can't be done. Maybe you could get a better deal because those landlords don't want to deal with us, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And you come in and you could implement all that stuff and you can buy it for cheaper. So
Absolutely. No, and we did get impacted by that. Funny you say that because we actually lost a couple. I know one for sure without saying too much of that, but two most likely. And when they put that stop that you cannot evict, they just stopped paying. But you still see new things coming around, just not that. So, as a landlord, as an owner, you still had to pay from your side. And now that they're clearing that, they've evicted themselves. So, that's the unfortunate side. So I see what you mean on that. But, a lot has happened in 2020, no doubt. What is one thing you would say to people to start doing now and secure a better future?
I would say expand your skills. Learn as much as you can. Learn what other people are doing that you would like to do. right? Surround yourself with those people, ask them questions. From my experience, a lot of people who are successful love to share, and they're usually coming from a good place, and they want to help as well.
An example.
For instance, when somebody asks me, "Hey, how do I do this? How do I write a book?" I love sharing how to write a book. No issues there, right? Because I find that as long as I give as much as I can, then that person is serious about it. They'll take action and they'll actually do something about it, right? And it comes down to basically it comes down to, are you willing to change your mindset to learn and take action? And that's what a lot of people during this period of time did not do. For instance, they'll go, okay, I lost my job. Doing engineering or doing retail is all I know. And therefore they sit there and they wait. They wait for the next thing that comes back or the next thing that opens up again. And then they waste all their time watching Netflix or watching whatever, but then they're not using that time to expand on a different skill set. I came from an engineering background. And one of the things that I did was, okay, what if engineering doesn't work out? That's when I started veering off to learn more about business. So then if engineering doesn't work out, then I have the business stuff to kind of fall on. Then from the business stuff, I expanded into the coaching stuff, to the speaking stuff, to the book writing stuff. Now I have a lot of options so that if one of these things don't work, I could fall on something else, right? Sure. I had this one person come up to me and she said, "I'm a really good engineer, but why is it every time there's a downturn, I'm the first one that gets let go?" And I go, well, okay, yes, you're technically very sound. You work very hard, you're very efficient, and your calculations are pristine. Like, they're wonderful. However, if that person over there has exactly the same skill set as you, but that person can speak and I could put that person into a meeting, I'm keeping that person. So therefore, why not, on top of all the stuff that you learn with regards to engineering, learn how to speak effectively, learn the business side of things. So you can complement things and then increase your skill set to be more valuable to the company that you're working with, and then demonstrate it when you're working as an engineer if you want to, right? So during this period of time, the best way to go towards success is expanding that mindset, expanding your skills, and then also expanding your network to build those relationships so that you can change the way you think.
And keep educating yourself. Yes, absolutely. Keep on learning, because if you don't plan, you plan to fail. So keep on learning. And we slightly have talked about writing a book, which is in my near future. So Fong, you will be hearing from me on that. I want to write a book soon. So I think at this point I can write a few just on my life alone. So why do you think so many people revert back to their old ways?
Comfort. One, it's comfort. Two, because everybody who they grew up with, everybody within their sphere of influence is constantly telling them to come back. Not verbally, but in their gestures, in the way their tone, in the questions they ask. Like, are you really sure that's gonna work out? Or, oh, I don't know, that sounds risky. Like, all that kind of talk. And when you're surrounding yourself with people who constantly ask you, well, how's that working out for you? Ooh, the market's not very good. I don't know, like all that negative talk. And then one misstep, okay? You get you miss one rent payment from your tenant, and all of a sudden, they're all right. I have to sell this. I'm not doing this anymore. You go back.
Self-doubts.
Right? And then everybody's going to go, yeah, come on back. Be one of us, kind of thing, right? So you kind of go back to your comfort level and everybody who you're comfortable with. And then you're going to get all the consolation talk. Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't work for everybody. And then you get sucked back in to that mindset again. And it's even harder for you to come back out.
Yeah, and once you failed, yeah. So you listen to the naysayers, then what ifs. I know when I was getting started, it was like you really have to break away from people. And it's hard because a lot of that is family, friends, but I also do bodybuilding. And even that was one thing that I constantly heard, why? That's not gonna work. This, so you start listening to that. You really do. And then you start doubting yourself even more than you should. So I guess the message there is, break away and just trust you, trust the process, and just go through it. So Fong, it has been a pleasure having you on here, sir. Always nice to talk to you. For those who want to connect with you, I know you do coaching, you have your YouTube. How can they connect with you?
Well, they can find me on the YouTube. My channel is Your Area TV. You can find me on Facebook. I think I'm the one and only Fong Chua on Facebook. My face is all over the thing, so you can't mistake it. And my website is www.fongchua.com, or you could email at fong.chua@yourarea.ca.
And I will be linking all these as well on our channel here and sharing them. So anybody who is tuning in and watching, be sure to go and click on that and follow Fong's a lot of great content on there. So Fong, I'm going to let you go. I know you're busy. Any last encouraging words for those tuning in?
Listen to Jose. He knows what he's talking about. He has a great show, lots of great guests, and I've been very honored to be a part of this. And it's a lot of fun. And just listen to great content, build your relationships, and expand.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, Fong, thank you. I'm sure we'll be in touch. Till next time. Thank you, sir.
Will do. Thank you.
Bye-bye.